Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We were looking at the necessity of a guru and why a guru is required to handle the means of knowledge, which are words in our case. The words of the Veda are the valid means of knowledge, which reveals my own true nature to myself. The words are like a mirror, which are showing me my own Swarupa or real nature. Why only words can be the means of knowledge here? Because I am trying to know myself. Myself is the eternal subject. It is always the subject, which is actually objectifying other objects and knowing that through other means of knowledge like sense perception and inference. But the subject itself, if you have to know, the subject can never be objectified. So that is where self-knowledge becomes subtle, let us say. It's not very difficult, but it is different from how we know other things. In worldly life, if the subject is to be known, we have to go and use some kind of a reflecting media. The eyes cannot see itself. Then what do? You have to go and stand in front of a mirror. You cannot ask, if you want to see your eyes, why are you looking outside into the mirror? Why don't you turn your eyes and look at the eyes by turning in and all that, correct? Because some people, they talk like this. They say that, why are you reading the Shastra? It is all only like some manual. This thing can never be taught. Truth is a pathless land. All these kinds of confusion are going on. Those who are creating such confusion mostly are themselves asampradayavit, means they have never learnt anything from their own guru. They are all apne aap. So that is why you have to be a little wary about even great people who have a lot of following and all that. But if they are not knowing the methodology to teach, most probably they'll end up confusing you. Because they themselves have somehow known certain things, which is an exception, let us say, even assuming that they know whatever they are talking about, but they will mysticize it and you won't have any clarity. Lot of quotations are going around also nowadays in social media particularly. By just reading all these quotations, you cannot also again gain proper knowledge. This knowledge, like any other knowledge, any advanced knowledge, requires systematic study for a period of time from someone who knows the subject matter and also from someone who knows how to use the words to convey. This is very important to understand. It's not something which you can gain by reading books yourself also, because there are too many books. Each of them is saying something. They use different terminologies, different words, and again it can end up confusing you. So we have to go and learn from a sampradaya with guru. Sampradaya with means the one who has studied from another sampradaya with guru, and also one who knows how to use the words to convey this knowledge. That is very important. If one does not know how to convey this, then also it is a problem. Then you can do namaskara to that person. That person may be a great person, saintly person, all that is fine. But if you want moksha, you require knowledge. And if you have to have knowledge, somebody has to operate a means of knowledge. And if they don't know how to operate it, then they cannot really help you. Nowadays, many people go to many spiritual gurus, or generally they can take anybody is called a guru. And many times they are also attracted because of some stories, some miracles and all that. But as a mumukshu, as the one who has understood the fundamental problem, even miracles and all should not be a big deal for you. Understand that. Because any miracle, if it is not going to change you fundamentally, okay, even after that miracle is done, you are the same individual, maybe better off. It doesn't make any difference. Understand that. So, whoever is teaching this Vedanta systematically and making you understand the reality about yourself is the Guru. All others are helping you in some way or the other. I am not denying that. But their help is only on the way, or to help you to prepare for this knowledge. Because anybody who helps you to have a certain disposition of the mind also is helping you really. Why? Because any knowledge has its own prerequisites. If you want to learn quantum physics, you cannot just learn from anywhere. You should have first studied some amount of mathematics and physics already. You should enroll in some course. Nowadays, even online courses are available. Otherwise, you have to enroll yourself in an university. You have to go and sit in the class. Then only you can learn that. Now, it is no different for Vedanta also. Of course, you are not going to go to a university and enroll. Universities only give you scholarship, let us say, okay? They will give you scholarly knowledge. This knowledge is different even from a scholarly knowledge, because scholarly knowledge is only indirect knowledge. A Vedanta scholar knows what Vedanta is saying about you. So they will talk indirectly. Even if you go and listen to a scholarly lecture on Vedanta, they will tell what Vedanta texts are telling, but as though it is something else other than themselves. That is the main difference. A guru is one who is telling you directly, you are that limitless, and trying to make you understand that, because guru has that same vision. Whatever vision the guru is having, that has to be transferred, and the mechanism to transfer that is using the words properly in a certain context. So the guru has to create a certain context in which you cannot but see the truth. That is the reality of this teaching, that words are conveying you the truth about yourself. But the thing is, words themselves are limited. Understand that. And words, again, if I use words which you really don't understand and I keep on using different words, I say Brahman is supreme, ultimate, Brahman is eternal, Brahman is bliss, Brahman is divine. Like this, I can keep on using a lot of words. Then many people think that another problem is many people go and listen to somebody. Then they think that, okay, I don't understand anything. This person is talking all these words. That means he must be somebody great. Now, that also is not correct. Understand that. This knowledge has to be taught to you using words which you understand. It's not enough if I use some fancy words and create a certain air. That's not going to help you, correct? In fact, such people are unnecessarily complicating the subject matter. If you really know the subject matter, you should be able to teach it using simple words. There should be clarity. Clarity in the words is very important. Clarity in the way the subject matter is communicated is very important. And whenever we are talking, there is a lot of thought in the words which are used, and also to make sure that you understand the words in the right way, because words again carry their own baggages. It can be misunderstood. So the guru has to make sure you understand the words in the right manner. In fact, how to listen to Vedanta itself is something all of you should understand. Vedanta is not about gathering some facts. It is not gaining some indirect knowledge about what a particular text like the Upanishad is telling. It is not scholarly knowledge. It is a mirror which is showing yourself to you. Whenever you are listening to Vedanta, you are looking at yourself through the words of the Guru and the Shastra. It has to transform the way you look at yourself. It has to change your very self-identity, because all your current problems are because of identifying yourself as a limited individual. The words of the Guru are actually making you see that your very individuality itself is something which is transient. It comes and goes. That identity itself is wrong. It is an erroneous understanding about yourself if you take yourself as an individual. So, whenever you attend a Vedanta class, during the class at least, you have to see yourself through the words of the Guru. The words are showing you that you are whole, you are complete, you are adequate in all respects. How also is explained. Now this has to be grasped. So in a Vedanta class, you are looking at yourself through the words of your Guru, and that is changing the way you identify yourself. That self-transformation is the main thing. And again, the words themselves do their job. If you are open enough, your mind is open, your mind is able to focus on what the Guru is saying, and you have a certain intellectual prerequisite to understand basic logic, then you should be able to understand. You should allow the means of knowledge to operate. That's it. Then knowledge has to take place, because knowledge is not based on your free will. Just because you like apple, you cannot know an orange as apple, correct? If orange is there, you have to know orange as orange only. It is Vastu Tantra, we say. So knowledge has to be true to the object which you are knowing. And in this case, you are knowing yourself. And Veda as a valid means of knowledge is revealing to you your true nature. And you have to know that as it is. Of course, any valid means of knowledge, whatever it reveals, can never be negated by any other means of knowledge. And it stands, correct, on its own. Its validity does not depend on anything else. So, if you have an open mind, if you have a mind which is free from conflicts, which is able to focus on the words which are being used, and if you have a certain intellectual prerequisite, I said, so that you understand some logic, then you should be able to appreciate, because the words used are the words which gave knowledge to the guru also, correct? The guru is using the words with which he or she herself or himself understood, and the same words have to be used to make you understand. Here the important thing is, since words are the means of knowledge and a lot of thought has gone into what words are used, you should also not bring in words which are not used by your guru. Okay, this may seem very drastic, but it helps, let me tell you, because even when you are thinking about this, recollecting whatever you have learned in the class later on, stick to the words which have been used by the guru in the class. Don't bring in some other words which you have studied in some book or heard somewhere or somebody's quotation and all that. That can again confuse you, because in all these quotations and books, many times words are used, they are not properly explained, defined, described, and it can be vagueness can come because of that. So vagueness also is a hindrance for this knowledge. Clarity is important. You have to be clear about what is being taught, and to maintain this clarity, the words which you use even while you are thinking about this is very important. Even when you are recollecting this knowledge, with what words you are recollecting it is very important. So the way to listen to Vedanta is to look at yourself using those words. It's not about remembering something. It's not about collecting a lot of facts, studying a lot of texts and all that. Of course, it helps. Scholarship helps, particularly when you want to teach. You have to know a lot more to teach, correct? Even a simple thing, even to teach LKG, if you go to some primary school and apply for a teacher's job, you say, okay, I have passed LKG, UKG, so now give me the job. I will teach LKG, UKG. They will not give you, correct? Even to teach LKG, you should have studied some graduation. First standard you want to teach means, you say, okay, I have passed up to third standard. See, I have gone 3 times. Give me the job. Most probably you will not get. You have to know a lot more to teach. In fact, in this case, you have to know the entire Shastra to even interpret one portion of that correctly. So a certain vision one should have, the complete vision. Then only the teaching can be offered in a way it can be understood by others. So for being a teacher, studying a lot of texts and all are useful, but that alone is not the goal. Those things are really incidental. Or if you want to teach something, you can prepare. Everybody prepares. Even my own guru used to prepare before every class. I used to sit with him even when he was preparing. Sometimes he was open about that. He used to prepare because what Shankaracharya has written, what Bhashya, and for that there are commentaries. So our literature is a huge literature. It is like a pyramid. And even if you know the subject matter well, you have to always prepare for a class. Because you are conducting the class based on a particular text, one has to be clear about what the text is saying, how the text is handling a particular subject matter. So you have to go along with that. Classes like this, which are more extempore, we are actually not much preparation is required. Okay, because I only have to know where I stopped last time and then continue. But if you are teaching a text, preparation is important. So even for a guru, preparation is important. That means a Shishya, one who is a student, also has to prepare oneself for this knowledge. And what are the prerequisites I told you? You have to have an open mind. Open mind, when will the open mind come? Because if you think that you already know everything, you are not coming to the class to check whether the teacher is teaching correctly or not. Some people come like that. They want to find out mistakes in what the guru is saying, or they already think that they know everything. So with such knowledge, it is difficult, or with such attitude, it is difficult for you to learn anything. Also, a certain openness with reference to the possibility of the solution which the Vedanta is offering. Vedanta is giving you a drastic solution, correct? It says that you are already what you are seeking. Now that looks improbable, to put it mildly. How can I be the limitless? How can I be all that I am desperately seeking? So that is a big proposition. But like any difficult equation, this equation also is something which you can understand. Correct? Initially, I tell you E is equal to mc square. Energy is mass into the square of speed of light, something like that is there. Now, without any background in physics, this thing may not look meaningful to you at all. How can energy and mass be equated? Is there any identity in that? So any equation has to be apparently contradictory, correct? Then only it is an equation really. 1 equal to 1 is not an equation. Nobody gives an equation 2 equal to 2, 3 equal to 3 and all that. You should at least have some apparent difference, correct? Between the left hand side and right hand side. Then it is equation. You have to arrive at the identity or the equation by looking at both the left hand side and right hand side. So when Vedanta says you are the limitless, you are the cause of this whole world, obviously there is difference, contradiction. Apparently it is there, but beyond that you have to understand it. In fact, your everyday experience seems to contradict the teaching of Vedanta. It is like the sunrise, correct? Even after knowing the truth, sun will keep on rising. Experience is not knowledge. This word experience itself is a big problem. it has been misused so much that most people are confused by that. So mostly I avoid using that, if you see in my classes, because experience is not knowledge. People equate experience with knowledge. But knowledge is more than experience. Experience may lead you to knowledge. But if two experiences are contradicting, then it requires analysis, vichara. And experience can even go against knowledge. So one has to arrive at, by discriminating, by analysis, what is knowledge. So certain clarity once you have, then in spite of any experience, knowledge is whatever knowledge you have, correct? That is the important thing. So coming back to your qualification, being open to whatever Vedanta is proposing, being open to learning from the Guru, having a certain attitude of openness, in fact, being ready to subject oneself to the teaching is very important. Then the other thing, whether you are able to sit in a class, even physical health is important. Whether your indriyas are functioning well, you are able to listen, read, those things are also important. Also, whether you are able to hold certain things in your head and see the implications and understand properly, that is called medha, in fact. So medha shakti is not just memory, it is more than memory. It is the ability to hold many things simultaneously and try to understand the implications of all that. Like playing chess, correct? In chess, the one who sees the number of moves further will win. Means you have to hold a lot of things, you have to simultaneously see many things and understand. So medha also is an important thing. So certain disposition of mind is very important, because when you are sitting and listening, you should be able to focus on what is being said. For that, you should have a mind which is free from conflicts, which is not in some kind of an emotional distress, let us say, or emotional stress, which is distress, in fact. So that is again an important qualification. So now, what is causing conflict to anybody? In fact, our Shastra, particularly Bhagavad Gita, has a very simple way of looking at human beings. What is that simple way? Everybody is subjected to likes and dislikes. Raga, Dvesha. Raga means likes. Vendudal. In Tamil, Tiruvallur also says that Vendudal, Raga. Then Dvesha, Vendame, I don't want. I want, I don't want. I like, I dislike. Okay, everybody has this. In fact, what I like, what I dislike is a function of where I am born, how I was brought up. If I am born in Tamil Nadu, I like idli for breakfast. I don't like bread. I cannot stand bread. Somebody else always likes bread toast with tea. I like my idli, dosa and coffee. Is there a problem with all these things? Likes and dislikes are always there for everybody. Is it a problem in itself? Means no. Likes and dislikes only define our personality, our individuality in one way. They are there for everybody. So when does it become a problem? The problem starts, okay, when the likes and dislikes become binding desires. So when does it become binding desires? When you think that unless this like is fulfilled, I cannot be happy, or unless what I dislike is removed. So what I like, I have to attain. What I dislike, I have to remove. Then only I can be happy. Then it becomes binding. It's a binding desire. Okay. So dhyayate vishayan pumsaha, like that Bhagavan also says in the Gita. So you think about something, many things come to your mind. That's not even under our control, correct? The nature of mind is it keeps on going from one thing to another and all that. Then suddenly something catches your fancy, then you think a lot more about it. Okay, then that is called sangha, association, certain association with some object, some idea, some experience. Then sangat sanjayate kamaha, then association becomes desire, binding desire. Then what if the desire is not fulfilled? Kamat krodho bhijayate. If it is not fulfilled, it is painful. And pain expresses itself as anger. And when anger is there, no knowledge, whatever knowledge you already have also is gone. Right? When you are emotionally overtaken, the emotions have overtaken you, means all your knowledge is no more available. You are only reacting emotionally. That is a problem. So if you are emotionally stressed, means you cannot even attend a Vedanta class. You are thinking about something, you are angry about somebody else. Now you are only thinking about that person. Whatever the guru is saying will not enter. So these likes and dislikes are the main enemies, like that Bhagavan says, even in the Bhagavad Gita. Because all your conflicts are starting from these likes and dislikes. When they become binding, the truth is that you cannot fulfill all your likes and dislikes. That is true for everybody, even the most powerful, most wealthy. Even if you are Indra in Devaloka, all your wishes will not get fulfilled. Therefore, everybody is a failure. If we see what is success in life, okay, that is the biggest problem nowadays. Nowadays, people think that just fulfilling all your likes and dislikes is success. If you have that as a yardstick for measuring one's success, everybody is a miserable failure. You can think about your own life. Most of the things which you wanted, in fact, even sometimes it becomes a miserable failure, even if what you want you attained. After attaining that, only you know it is not what you really thought it as, correct? So sometimes Bhagavan helps you by not giving you what you want, because that there also there is a problem, because our knowledge itself is so limited, we don't even know what we want really. Even after getting what you want, you are still incomplete, you are dissatisfied. Success is one thing, tripti is another thing. Understand that satisfaction and success, sometimes success itself can become dissatisfaction also. There are situations like that. You yourself, you will know that. So success is not fulfilling your likes and dislikes. In fact, our tradition does not look upon it like that, because we all know that being limited individuals, that yardstick will condemn everybody to being a failure only. So then how do we look at success? we look at success as the ability to manage your likes and dislikes. If you are able to manage your likes and dislikes, then you are a successful person. That is the definition of success as an individual, I'm saying. Okay. So you are leading a life, certain life as an individual. What is success in that? Success is you are able to manage your likes and dislikes. Manage means what? Manage means you are able to do the right thing in spite of your likes and dislikes. Because all conflict in our life is between what is right and wrong, and between what you like and what you dislike. Correct? There in on one side, right, wrong is there. Now, right, wrong, we all know. Samanya dharma is commonly sensed. I think I talked about it a little bit earlier already. So there is a conscience. We all know how we have to behave towards others, because we all know how others should behave towards me. 100% you are all clear. At least 50% we are all dharmic, because with reference to others' behaviors towards us, you are all very clear. They should not lie to me. They should always speak pleasingly. They should tell the truth. All that you are very clear. Nobody should hurt me. Then what about the other way around? That also you know then. Others also expect the same thing. So this itself forms a basis for right and wrong. Of course, right and wrong is beyond that also. That is only Samanya Dharma, but it is contextual, then place, time, etc. Many things also. But you are all intellectually evolved enough to understand what is right, what is wrong in a given situation. Even if you are not clear, as a human being, you are expected to get clarified by going and asking somebody, elders in the family, your group. So even if you have a doubt, don't say that I did not know what is right. That's not acceptable even in a court of law, correct? Ignorance is not a defense. You cannot tell the judge, I did not know the law, so I committed this crime. Maybe that judge, if it is the first time, judge may consider reducing the punishment and all that, but you will get punished still. It's not a defense. So you are expected to know the right thing. If the confusion can be there, that is called dharma sankata. So even in confusing situation, you are supposed to get it clarified. That means right and wrong are there on one side, known. But likes and dislikes are even more intimately known. It is also there. Now, when they are matching, whatever you like is the right thing, means you are spontaneously, you are dharmic. You have no conflict in a situation. You do the right thing. And whatever you don't want to do, whatever you dislike also is adharma. It is wrong. Then also everything is rosy. But most of the time it is not like that. So somebody said whatever I like is either illegal, immoral, or calorific. So what are you going to do? Conflict. That is the basic conflict for any person. Everything else is born out of this later on. Because of this conflict, and you do the wrong thing, you go along with your likes and dislikes, because you think that fulfilling your likes and dislikes is also success. Means you do the wrong thing. Then what happens? You can have guilt, fear. What if somebody finds out? Even if somebody does not find out, you know you have done something wrong. How are you going to deal with that? Sometimes you brainwash yourself, or somebody else brainwashes yourself. It's okay, you can do wrong also. Only thing which matters is that you have now fulfilled your life. You can brainwash yourself like that, but in spite of all that, it's a bad bargain, because life will teach you. Whenever you do something wrong, immediately also if you do not get any repercussion of that, eventually it will catch up with you. Even Indian justice catches up with people, I think, at least after 20 years, 30 years, it catches up somehow. Law of karma anyway will catch up with you. Even if the justice system does not catch up, your papa punya will catch up with you. There is no doubt. If not in this life, in some other life. So, doing the right thing is the best bargain for yourself. Because you do the right thing, you don't have any fear, guilt. In fact, you feel good about yourself. You may have lost something also in the process, correct? You may have lost some time, money, etc. But if you are able to do the right thing in spite of your likes and dislikes, that is the real freedom, correct? What is real freedom? Freedom is not doing whatever you like. Freedom is to do the right thing in spite of your likes and dislikes. Then you are really free. You are not a slave of your own likes and dislikes. But Bhagavan is that. Even in Tirukural, there is a Tamil text. Bhagavan, the one name for Bhagavan is Vendudal Vendamai Iladan. Means what? The one who does not have likes and dislikes is Bhagavan. Bhagavan does not depend on anything. Only if this happens, I will be happy. Not like that. Or if this does not happen, I will not be happy. All these things, no problem. So now why are we even stressing on all these things? That you have to do the right thing, you have to do dharma, you have to lead a life of dharma. That is because whenever you are going with your likes and dislikes, it only reinforces your individuality. Understand that. Where does this like and dislike spring from? It springs from a vision that you are incomplete, you are wanting, you are a limited being. That is the basis of every like and dislike. You are incomplete. So as a student of Vedanta, why we are stressing that you have to manage your likes and dislikes. You have to learn to do the right thing in spite of your likes and dislikes. Because we want you to come out of the spell of likes and dislikes. Because likes and dislikes imply that you are a limited individual. They reinforce that alone. So if you just go by your likes and dislikes, you are always going to be this puny individual. Your life will be over at some point in time. Then it's a vicious cycle. You have to take other lives. If you have done a lot of wrong things, then I don't know. Next time you may not even get a human life. You have wasted. You have got one human life. You have wasted it. Again, when you will get, we don't know. So managing the likes and dislikes is the most important thing for us. And that will give you success. Means what? That will prepare you for this knowledge. And how do I manage this? By changing my attitude. Buddhi yoga. Bhagavan in Gita uses the word Buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means what? Yoga of attitudes. You change your, because you are a mumukshu, anyway you are not limited, you are not interested in the limited results of action. But still you are part of a particular society, a community, a family. You have roles to play. You cannot cut off everything. Everybody cannot become a sannyasi. Sannyasi has only two roles, either as a student or a teacher. Everybody cannot become a sannyasi, need not become a sannyasi. So what you have to do? Bhagavan gives a very beautiful roadmap. He says, change your attitude. Do whatever is required of your role as your duty. So our society itself is a duty-oriented society. Do your duty. And then they put one more confusion there. Don't expect any result. Now this expectation is a problem. Nobody can do anything without expecting any result. Understand that. So the meaning of don't expect result is don't expect the result to make you happy or unhappy. We can modify that a little bit, because the very action itself is determined by the result only. So nobody can do anything without expecting any result. The point is, do not expect that the result has to make you happy. So you are not doing something expecting that the result of that action is going to make you happy. You have to understand it like that, because you are doing whatever you are doing as per the role which is there in a given situation. Everybody is playing many roles. You are a husband, wife, daughter, son, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, employer, employee, citizen of the country. So many roles. Now each role requires certain things to be done. So whatever is to be done, regardless of your likes and dislikes. Now if you lead a life like that, then you are learning to manage your likes and dislikes, your raga dvesha. The more you manage your raga dvesha and do the right things, that is what we call chitta shuddhi. Because what is the malam, or the dirt in your mind? Because when we say you have to have a clean mind, we also have to define what is dirt. Dirt is nothing but your own likes and dislikes, particularly binding likes and dislikes. Okay, everybody has personal choices you have to make, whether you want to drink tea or coffee. Whether if you go to US, it is a big headache. Coffee itself is a problem for me. If I go to US, what coffee? In India, we have one filter coffee. They put everything, mix and give it to you nicely. You go there, they will ask, you need hazelnut coffee, decaf coffee, this coffee, that coffee, so many coffees. Then you want to mix, what do you want to mix there? Some half and half milk, toned milk, 0% fat milk, n number of things, vanilla milk, etc. will be there. Then again, what you want, white sugar, brown sugar, sugar free, this free, that free, so many things will be there. So whenever I visit US, by the time I try out all the combination, the visit will be over. Still, I won't have found out what I really like in that. Anyway, that's a aside. What I am saying is, you have to be able to manage your likes and dislikes, but individual likes and dislikes which are not binding, that's not a problem. In fact, that's a privilege. Bhagavan says that I am manifest in you as the very desire which is not against dharma, but he puts a condition there. Dharma aviruddha kamosmi, he says in the 7th chapter. I am manifest in you as the kama, means likes and dislikes. Because likes and dislikes are also a privilege. Only you can like for an iPhone, you can work for it and even buy it. Let us say a cow has no idea of what is iPhone. Cow cannot even desire for iPhone. You can desire, as a human being, you can desire for so many things. Cow does not desire for a Chinese meal in a moonlit whatever garden and all that, correct? Or whatever candlelit dinner. Cow has no idea or no desire for that. You can desire for so many things. Desiring itself is not a problem, as long as it is not binding, and as long as you are using dharmic means to achieve your desires, your ambitions. Because what is an ambition for a particular person depends on your current status and all that. Everybody's ambition and desires cannot be the same. An Ambani cannot desire for something small, correct? Then it's not anything great. So your desire also has to be in scale with wherever you are. There's nothing wrong in that. But as long as you are using proper means to achieve that, and you are not thinking that only by fulfilling that I am going to be happy and all that. Correct? So it is a Icha Shakti. Bhagavan only is manifest as your Icha Shakti. So Icha Shakti itself is not a problem. So you have been given three Shaktis: Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. The ability to desire, ability to do, ability to know, it is there with all of us. It is all a manifestation of Bhagavan. It's a privilege, but you have to use the privilege properly. The privilege itself should not become a curse. So if you take care of that, then you have a mind which is free from conflicts. A conflict-free mind is open for this knowledge. Very important prerequisite. Chitta Shuddhi, we say. Then Chitta Naischalyam. Once you have known also, this knowledge is not some kind of a, you put a switch and then bulb glows and all that. Understand that? It's not some mystic experience and all that. It is a growing clarity. Any insight has to be repeated for you to overcome existing tendencies. Even if you have clear knowledge, habitual tendencies can be against that. That we face in our life every day. We all know that. So to repeat this insight all the time, you need a certain mind which can focus one-pointedly on the teaching. Till the time it becomes sahaja, means natural. Right now, if I wake you up and ask who are you, you are going to give some biography, correct? I am so and so, son of so and so, daughter of so and so, etc. This is my name. That is how strong your identity as a human being and individual is. Now you are supposed to overcome that. It's not an easy thing. It takes effort over a period of time, sustained effort. That is what you should be able to put in. So all these things means they are all related to your mind only, correct? A certain disposition of your mind. So you should have understood the fundamental problem by doing viveka, correct? Nitya and anitya. Nitya, nitya, vastu viveka, like this we say. That is one of the first qualification. While doing this nitya, nitya, vastu viveka, what it leads you to? Certain dispassion towards worldly objects and accomplishments. That is vairagya. Again, vairagya is not hating things. Vairagya means you are objectively, you are able to understand that even if I achieve all these things, it's not going to fundamentally change me. That is vairagya, dispassion. Viveka, vairagya. Then samadhi, shatka, sampatti. That is what I was talking to you now. To prepare your mind, to have a mind where there are no conflicts, mind is resolved, peaceful. Even if it is initially not internally peaceful, you have at least the ability to behave properly. Dhamma, shama and dhamma are there. Okay. You are able to face reality as it is without any bitterness. Because all sorrow, sadness is refusal to accept the reality. Then you are able to withdraw and focus only on this moksha marga. Like this, these are all related to your mind, disposition of your mind. You have to prepare your mind. Then this desire to be free, mumukshutva. These are all the qualifications we say traditionally. Sadhana chatushtayam. So all the things you do, any yoga you do, any pranayama you do, anything you do, different types of yogas are available in the spiritual market. You can do anything. All of them help you to prepare your mind. But at the end of the day, you have to learn the Shastra. Shastra alone is the means of knowledge which will help you to understand yourself. With that clarity, you can prepare yourself. There are n number of ways because preparation itself is not same for everybody. Everybody has a different background, different issues. So you have to prepare yourself in the best way possible for your whatever given your particular situation. So with that preparation, you go and learn Vedanta. Then Vedanta will be effective. Vedanta can give you what it can really give you. So that is what I just wanted to say. So practically, what can I do as a student of Vedanta? This is the question many people ask. So what can I do? Means daily you have to lead a certain life of discipline. There is no substitute for that. In fact, our tradition says that 5 things you have to do daily. How you do it, each one has its own tradition and all that, correct? But 5 things we say. What is that? Pancha Mahayajna. So we have to have certain gratitude, and we have to repay our debts. It is even called a rina, towards 5 different things. What are those 5? One is devas. The devatas are the ones who are blessing us. Even when you are born, already everything is given to you, correct? You have to recognize the giver in the given. The entire world is given, oxygen is given, water is given, food is given, everything is given. And it keeps on giving. Every year it has to be given, correct? Every year it has to rain. So devatas are the ones who are blessing. So there is a deva yajna you have to do every day. Then pitris, without our ancestors, we are not there here today. So we have to recognize our ancestors. Also, our ancestors only have kept up all these traditions, correct? It's all coming down in a lineage. Then rishis also, they are the ones who created this. I won't say created, but they are the ones who received this knowledge and created the Guru Shishya Parampara and the methodology to teach and all that. So rishis also we have to do yajna, means you have to study. Whatever is there, if you don't study, then you cannot pass it on to the next generation also. So you should study, you should pass it on to the next generation. That is very important. All our knowledge systems have survived orally. Think about it. They have survived all sorts of onslaughts and invasions and everything. It is still available. So we have to be grateful to our rishis. All these knowledge systems are available. Then we have to be grateful to other human beings, right? Manushya yajna also. That is why we have the concept of Atithi. India never had any hotels, understand that, any restaurants, even like 150 years back or 100 years back. People used to go from Rameshwaram to Kashi. All the way we had Annachatrams. Every few kilometers on the walking route, people used to give Annadanam only, correct? Without any restaurant, they were able to go everywhere. Manushya Yajna. We are all interdependent. We have to appreciate other people. Unless everybody is happy, I cannot be happy. That is also there. We are all social animals. Then even all the other beings, correct? Bhuta. So Bhuta Yajna. So these 5 things are there. How you exactly do, you can have your own family tradition, your community tradition. In the north, they do it in one way. In the south, they do it in another way. All the differences is not a problem for us. We have so much diversity in practices. But these 5 things are important for us. You have to do this as your duty. Of course, all other duties of your roles which you are taking up also you have to do with an attitude of yoga, with an attitude that it is only helping me to purify myself. That is how practically this is the life of a student of Vedanta. So that you have to work on and keep studying. Shastra study you can never stop. Okay, if I finish introduction to Vedanta, is it enough? Means you have only got introduced. You keep studying the Shastra till the time you don't have to study anything else. You have to keep studying. Even then you have to study if you become a guru. That is another thing. So that also never stops. So with this, I hope you have all got a certain introduction, and I hope you will continue the study and your study also will be fruitful. And siddhim vindati manavaha, like that Bhagavan says. So the human being, when does the siddhi come? Moksha alone is the real siddhi. But even before that, if you are able to manage your likes and dislikes, that also is a siddhi. From that, you will anyway gain moksha also. So with that prayer, let me finish this series. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.